name is Jack Hollon. I was diagnosed with gastroparesis and esophagitis.
Can you tell us what gastroparesis and esophagitis are?
Gastroparesis is where your stomach does not digest food in a proper time. It slows everything down, and digestion is slowed down, and food kind of gets stuck because it's not digesting and it's painful. Also, I was diagnosed with esophagitis, which is your esophagus gets inflamed to the point where everything hurts, even drinking water. So I was diagnosed with those two things, and that would put me in the hospital. Previously, in the previous years, like every 2 to 3 months, I'd be in for a week at a time while they controlled both of those things.
So you had been a patient of Dr. Elkery's before.
Yes.
But how long were you suffering from those conditions, gastroparesis and esophagitis, before telling Dr. Elkery?
Well, I knew that I had the condition, but they hadn't diagnosed it until last year, around November of last year. And I told him, and he immediately thought the shots in the stomach would help the situation. And it did. It helped greatly. And I'm very glad I said yes to that, because I haven't been in the hospital since. It's been a year. And I never went this long without going to the hospital for something regarding the esophagitis or the gastroparesis, so it's been great.
Wow. So just to kind of reemphasize that,
Mm-hmm.
how often were you going to the hospital and for how long? And then once you got the treatment, how long has it been since you've been to the hospital?
It was probably 5 years of going to the hospital every 2 to 3 months.
Wow.
And it was like almost like clockwork. Like, my wife would kind of joke, it's been 6 or 7 weeks since you've been in the hospital, are you ready to go? Kind of jokingly.
Yeah.
I'm like, kind of.
Yeah.
But it was for probably 5 years, but they hadn't diagnosed it. I've been to the hospital like several times, and it was never diagnosed.
Yeah.
They just thought I had something to do with my diabetes or my ketoacidosis or something like that. And so when they diagnosed it in November, I had an appointment with Dr. Elkery like a couple weeks after I got out of the hospital. And I told him what they said, and he came up with a treatment of maybe going into the stomach with the nerve blocking shots. And so it's been helped greatly.
Yeah. So it's been almost 1 year.
Yeah, it's been a year, because it was like, I remember I was discharged the day before Thanksgiving because I wanted to get out for the holiday, and they let me go. So it's been a year, 11 months right now, almost a year.
So this was a new treatment. Reset pain management is a new technique that Dr. Elkery has come up with.
Mm-hmm.
What were your concerns, but then what made you decide to go for it once he explained it to you?
I really didn't have any concerns, because I was like, what do I have to lose? Going to the hospital every 2 months, then that's not a way to live a good life. And so when he suggested it, I was all for it. I said, let's do it as soon as possible and see what happens. And ever since he did that first treatment, I have not had any symptoms of either gastroparesis or esophagitis, and it's been great. And I can eat without worrying it's going to hurt, and even drinking water hurt, and all that's gone now. So it's been great.
Wow. So how often have you been seeing Dr. Elkery as a pain patient, and then once you did the reset pain management on your stomach, how often do you come in for that?
I've been a patient for approximately 15 years for my back, and I come in. It's every 2 months that I come in.
Awesome. And why would you recommend someone who has pain to try this new reset pain management technique?
I mean, like I said, in my situation, I felt like I didn't really have anything to lose. When you're in that much pain all the time, it's just your quality of life is just not where you want it to be. I would tell anybody who's considering it, give it a try. It helped me. I can help you too. So.
Awesome. Thank you for your time, Jack.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
All right.